Welcome back to another episode of trying to play with all the elements in the periodic table that hopefully won't hurt us. Today, it is tantalum, and this is another expensive one. This right here, tiny little block, that is $500 of the stuff. Seems to have a lot of use in aerospace, electronics, and even in nuclear reactors. So I'm sure I've ended up on some sort of list by importing this from Germany. My first impressions are, it's really quite heavy. That tiny little piece, 507 grams. That's more than a pound of metal. Tantalum is twice as dense as steel, similar density to tungsten and gold. But does density equal hardness? I think we've found in the past that the answer is no. And here we see it again. That is super soft. This round chainsaw file just utterly eats through it. Even just knocking it on the steel table, it easily dents. It's definitely not as soft as indium from our last episode on this stuff. But let's get some actual numbers on this. This is a Rockwell hardness tester. We're gonna test on the B Rockwell scale. This is copper, 30 Rockwell B. This is unhardened 1080 steel, 93 Rockwell B, and pure tantalum, 57 Rockwell B. That seems to be somewhere in the middle of the hardness of copper and steel. Now, where it definitely isn't in the middle of anything is its melting temperature, a whopping 3,000 degrees Celsius, 5,500 degrees Fahrenheit, before this thing starts turning to a puddle. And the question is, it's softer than steel now, but is it softer than steel at our regular forging temperatures? I have a guess. No, definitely not.
Should we see how soft tungsten was? Because you said it was quite soft.
Good question, actually. It's here. This is our 5 kilo block of tungsten. Ooh, 94. So tantalum is way softer than tungsten, even though tungsten also has a massive melting temperature. Obviously, none of these things really correlated together, but it is very interesting to compare it all. All right, let's grind off some of these dots, give us an opportunity to see how it looks. Oh, no spark. Oh, it grinds really easily. Oh, it's super soft to grind. Doesn't make any sparks, grinds like butter. Let's light the forge, and let's see what happens. Look how epic that looks as it's heating up. The laser etching is visible. That's wild. And it almost looks like something fluttering on the surface, but it's just the oxidation, I guess, of the flame. That thing heated up really quickly. Oh, it glows so beautiful. Okay, tantalum test with a hand hammer from the top. Wow. Ah, that's pretty hard, but it's moving. Also, would you believe it? It burns the workshop floor. Get some! Oh, look at the oxide and the remnants of the TA. Heat 2. I mean, it is bloody hard. Definitely not as hard as mild steel at room temperature, but this is so much harder than steel at forging temperature. My initial thought is that tantalum is more forgeable than our pure tungsten from last year. Take a couple more heats here at the hand hammer, see what we can do before we try it in the power hammer. If you want something that you can just beat the crap out of endlessly, you should buy yourself $500 worth of tantalum, because you've got unlimited fun to be had with almost no progress. God, the oxide skin on it is really funny. It turns into like a little powder. It's really quite pretty, actually. Have a look at that. The oxide skin is slightly reminiscent of how titanium oxide looks, but it is very unique.
It actually looks like a bit of Turkish delight.
To the power hammer. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's definitely forgeable. That is awesome. I mean, it's hard, but this is forgeable. This is a much more plausibly forgeable material than tungsten, that's for certain, even though it's a much smaller size billet. Question is, what to make from it? So apparently one of the first uses of tantalum was as the filament in incandescent light bulbs. Before they were able to use tungsten for it, tantalum was the metal of choice, similarly because of its high melting point. But you'll see the oxide that it makes is quite bad, and that would eat away at your filament, which is why, much like with tungsten, the inside of an incandescent light bulb can't have any oxygen in there. Otherwise, this would happen. Now, it was only 100 years before that tantalum was discovered in 1802. But interestingly, it often got confused with niobium. Now, we've messed around with niobium, also expensive stuff, because niobium and tantalum were often found together, and they're quite chemically similar. Through the 40s, it became more widely used as an alloying component in high-performance alloys, aerospace stuff, and now it seems like most of its use is in electronics and in the semiconductor industry. That stuff's above my pay grade. Now we know that it forges. I'm gonna forge it down to some flat bar so we can make some titanium tantalum Damascus. See if we can get this to weld to titanium. So far, I really like this metal. I think me and tantalum are on good terms. Pretty good. How do you anneal tantalum?
Annealing tantalum is a bit of a delicate process.
Just like normal, heat her up, cool her slow. Quick aside to talk about your business. That's right, you need to sell things. You need to get your name out there. You need your customers and clients to know what great things you can offer them. And that all starts with, well, it technically starts with great products. But somewhere in there is having a great website, which is why you absolutely must try today's sponsor, Squarespace. It's an all-in-one website building platform with countless drag and drop themes, as well as many powerful AI tools to help design a website, fill it out with perfect copy to attract the clients and customers that you want, and showcase your products properly. Sell unlimited physical or digital products, use Squarespace member areas to sell access to content, or book clients directly using Squarespace scheduling. It syncs perfectly to your Google Calendar. It's lovely. Please go give it a try by building your website today with a free trial at squarespace.com/forge. If you love it, code FORGE at checkout is going to get you 10% off your first purchase. That includes your domain purchases. Let's get back to it. Can't say I've ever seen a metal that looks like that. Wow. The metal is not meant to throw sparks when you cut it, guys. It was cutting beautifully and then it started sparking. Now it's making an awful noise. Maybe I don't love tantalum so much after all. Yeah! Now there is something very weird about this. It's like it's got some really strange resonance frequencies. That's bad. What? Looks like pulverized wood. It's like it's been sucking it in and out of the vise.
It must be cutting like that because it's soft, right? I'm sure if you put the indium in there, it'd be the same thing. Although then again, if you put copper in there, it's not going to do that, is it?
Well, no, exactly. I should expect it to cut relatively well and just show like little minor signs of gumminess. Now that's shocking. Let's try and grind it, see if it'll come clean.
It also wasn't sparking earlier, but now it is.
Why is it now sparking? That's weird. And it's sparking just like steel. So heating it up and forging it, and or then machining on it with carbide inserts, now means that tantalum sparks and looks like steel when we grind it. How? Very strange. That doesn't make sense. Got the tantalum ground down, clean metal, 36 grit. It is now time to cut it up into little pieces for a very nice billet. But there's just something wrong. It's 2025, and it's been at least 4 months since I've got any new machinery. Lasers! Now what? Frickin' lasers! Frickin' lasers! Frickin' lasers! No! Oh God! No way! That's nuts. No frickin' way! This is amazing! Yes! This is my new fiber laser. 60 watts of eye-burning goodness. Look at this beast. All the bells, all the whistles, lasers for focusing. I'm very interested to try out this deep engraving. It can do more. The first project with it is every single bit of climbing gear has now got my touch mark on it. Big shout out to the team at Haushan Laser for helping us get this here in the workshop. It's always interesting to get new machines to have a play with and see what the increased capabilities are. One of the things I have on my mind is if I can deep engrave a touch mark and get it kind of 0.5 millimeter deep, that could mean we could really efficiently cut down the time that it takes to do gold inlay on things. That's just one of the little thought starters I've had since getting this thing up and running yesterday. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all the different ways that we could use a laser in the workshop. For now, however, I said I had something really important to do on this bit of tantalum, right? 3, 2, 1, here we go.
Frickin' laser! Frickin' laser! Frickin' laser!
Who needs rulers and scribes now?
You know what that sounds like?
What?
It's like when you roll your luggage down the driveway to your car at 4 o'clock in the morning for the neighbors.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, he's bloody going on holiday again!
Oh no, Jamie, how am I gonna keep track of what these bits of material are?
Frickin' laser!
Thank goodness, now I can keep track of it. Now time for titanium. Oh, that's so heavy. That's so funny, picking up tantalum right after picking up titanium. This is gonna be the size of the billet, but not the arrangement. Tantalum, tanium, Damascus billet. These are 3 pieces of tantalum, grade 5 titanium, grade 2 titanium. We're gonna make a concoction of all of it. Bada bing, bada boom. Zip zap zop, weld her up, get some argon through it. Kasplat. Do this. So far, so blooming good, Jamie. Oh, no, we haven't done it. There's a bloody gap. No! Let's have a look here. That looks like we have a failure between our tantalum, because that looks quite thick, and our titanium. Tantalum, titanium failure. Great, good news, just what we want. See if we can mill off the schmutz, get down to clean joint before we continue forging on it. Looks in one piece here. This is one very small and very pricey billet. We're gonna chuck it in the forge. Now that they've been bonded, hopefully, in an inert atmosphere in that argon box, the mating surfaces are sealed from oxygen. So hopefully, chuck it in the forge like this, and we can forge on it some more without it falling apart. But, considering how a third of the billet went, we'll see about that. Apart yet? I don't know. Ah! No! No! Oh, it's not good. That, my friends. That, my friends, is not good. Sick.
I think you should at least try to mill off one side so that we can heat anodize it and see what the colors look like. Even though it's wrecked, we should still see what the colors look like.
Yeah, all right, let's do that. The way the different metals are like that is even quite nice.
Wow, that looks cool, doesn't it?
That tantalum definitely picks up some very different colors as you heat it. It forms a very different looking oxide layer. That's a band of tantalum here, that's a band of tantalum there. We'll see really quite different colors than the grade 2 and grade 5 titanium.
So do you think part of why this didn't stick was because the tantalum is so soft?
No, the tantalum is very hard at temperature.
It's hard at temperature and soft when it's at room temperature.
Yeah, so it's much harder to forge. So all the titanium mushed out and the tantalum kind of stayed put. But that's not necessarily the reason why it didn't stick. I mean, obviously they're trying to deform it different ways, like it can fracture the bond. It could just be that the two metals don't go well together. Maybe it forms some sort of intermetallic compound, a titanium tantalum intermetallic compound. I don't know. Some things just aren't meant to be together. But this would have been a very interesting metal to be able to weld into a titanium stack for kind of jewelry, and I'm sure there's some space age fancy stuff that requires something made of titanium with tantalum stuck to it. But you know what I can do, Jamie? I've got a fancy fiber laser. We can put a touch mark on this abomination and see if anybody would like to buy it. So this could be a project for somebody to extract the tantalum out of and make a profit selling it. Again, I'm sure that will be really super simple. But what's going to be even simpler than that is listing it for sale on my website, because it's a Squarespace website and they're the sponsor of today's video. We even use the handy dandy AI to make ourselves a funny little description. Be sure to go to squarespace.com/forge, get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase using code FORGE at checkout. Appreciate you all. Bye-bye.